Okay, so today we are working on inverse trig. So our central question is, how do I use the trig functions to find an angle? Okay, so inverse trig just means the opposite function. So if I have an angle I want to find, I could use inverse sine, which remember was opposite over hypotenuse. I could use inverse cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. Or I can use inverse tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. So my steps, the first thing I want to do is always the same. I want to label my sides H-O-N-A.
Good morning, warriors. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge.
Okay, so the next step I want to do is find the equation. And this is by using SOHCAHTOA. Then my next step is to fill in the equation. Okay, and then my final step is to solve. So on number 1, I want to solve for the measure of angle V. So this is the angle I care about. So I'm going to label it theta. And then I want to label my sides H, O, and A. So VC, is this H, O, or A? This number 63, O or A? And the 16? A. Okay, so which two letters have something with them? A and O. So this is O and H. That's not it. This one is A and H. That's not it. O and A is the one I want, so I'm going to be using the tangent equation. I don't know what my angle is here, so I'm going to use the theta symbol. And then I want opposite over adjacent, so I'm going to have 63 over 16. Then to solve this, what I want to do is I'm going to use that inverse trig. So I'm going to have tan inverse. And I write it on the outside out front. This is just like undoing, like when you have multiplication and division. Those undo each other. So these are undoing the tangent. On my left side, it's going to cross out the word tangent and just give me theta. On the right side, I have tangent inverse of 63 over 16. Then I want to go ahead and go to desmos.com/scientific. And if I click on the function button, over here, it's got the inverse functions for me. So I just need to click on the one I have on my paper, which was tangent to the -1. I'm going to have 63 over 16, which gives me 75.7. We're always going to round to 1 decimal place unless it tells me otherwise. 75.7. And since I was searching for a missing angle, I'm going to have degree. Okay, so then I want to do the same thing for number 2. I want to go ahead and label it. It wants me to care about angle M. So this is the angle. So 24, is that H or A? 25, is that H or A? And the MU? A. So then I want to figure out which trig function this matches up to. So what letters do I have here with numbers? H and O. So H and O, that is my first one. So sine is the one I want to use here. I'm going to have sine of theta equals opposite is 24, hypotenuse is 25. Then I want to get rid of the word sine, which I just used the sine inverse. So that'll give me theta equals sine inverse of 24 over 25. Then I want to go ahead and go type this into Desmos. So this one was sine inverse, and then I wanted to do 24 over 25, which gives me 73.7. Number 3 wants me to solve for angle V. So V is the one I care about. Then I want to go ahead and label. So 36 is, 77 is, 85 is, okay, so I can figure out which trig function I want to use. Notice for this one, I have all three of my sides labeled, so I can actually choose whichever one I want to use. Which one do you want me to use? Okay. So I'm going to have sine of theta. If I'm using sine, what number goes on top? What number goes on bottom? Okay. Then I want to use my inverse sine. So I can go ahead and go to Desmos. Inverse sine, 36 over 85. This one gets me 25 point, and this one's going to round because of the 5 after the 0, so it's going to be 25.1. This would have given me the same answer no matter which trig function I picked, as long as I plugged in the right side. Questions on number 3? Okay, so then I want to do the same thing on number 4. This angle I care about is angle M. So then 17 is going to be, 15 is going to be, and 8 is going to be. Okay, so I can pick whichever trig function I want to use. I'm going to do cosine because we haven't done cosine yet, but you could do sine or tangent and you would get the same answer as me. So I'm going to have cosine of theta. What is going on top if I'm using cosine? And on bottom? Then I want to use inverse cosine. It's going to give me cosine inverse, nope. Theta equals cosine inverse of 15 over 17. Okay, then I want to go ahead and type this into Desmos. So I'm going to have the cosine inverse, and then I'm going to have 15 over 17. Whoa. What do I have to... There we go. This gets me 28 points. This one's going to round 1. Okay. Questions here? Okay, so there's an assignment on Canvas, and then I just wanted to show you the first problem really quickly. So this one again wants you to round to tenths. It's kind of like we did in the notes. It tells you which angle we care about. So on this one you care about angle R. So you're going to solve the triangle for R as the angle you care about. Questions here?